Libras, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for September 26th to the 2nd of October 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Libra, this week we have a new moon starting a new lunar cycle. We had the last cycle as an eclipse cycle, very transformative for a lot of us. So now fresh new beginnings. And this is involving your 12th house, which is the house of essentially finding true happiness in life, true peace. This is the end of the houses. This is where we come back to peace in life, of beingness and interconnectivity. But of course, to do that, we do have to be, and in order to be, sometimes things can come up. And these are psychological things that might be preventing us from having that beingness and having peace and tranquility in our lives. So it does make it an excellent time to get that alone time, meditative time, but also to see if there's any things that come up during this time, such as fears, traumas, anxieties, things that are in those layers that could be preventing us from having that peace in life. So it's a great time for psychological work, transformation, spirituality, and in fact, this is all very uplifting because you do have Jupiter in the 12th house. He's been here for almost a month now, depending on when you're watching this. And so Jupiter helps us see the potentials with all of this, the upside, the possibilities. And I think for a lot of you, there is that top-down perspective about spirituality and synchronicity and going with the flow and the importance of all that. So the new moon will be conjoining Jupiter, emphasizing the potentials there and the lighter side of all this, which is, I think, excellent. And I think all types of spiritual activities, whether it's meditation, prayer, yoga, whatever it is that helps you connect to presence, can just be fantastic at the moment, really for the next 30 days as we start this next lunar cycle of cultivating this peace in your life. And your ruler is in the 12th too, so it's already been emphasized here for quite some time of the 12th house with Venus, I do want to mention. But she's getting ready to go into your first house next week. So next week I think you'll find a bit of that pick-me-up and a bit of the momentum and energy in pursuing your personal needs. But this week, certainly good to set new intentions with your spiritual self. Now, the new moon will be on Friday, so as we approach Friday, we will be on that balsamic phase, which is a good time to retreat anyways. That alone time, reflect on things a bit. Again, maybe ask yourself where you can surrender some things in life, mostly internal things, right? Perspectives, belief systems, and maybe setting some new intentions with spiritual activities. But after the new moon, you'll probably find a lot more of those things are moving forward for you in terms of the activities or external things that might begin to make a bit more sense about how you can have that peace and tranquility. The sun will be very close to Jupiter all week long. We'll be conjoining Jupiter on Monday. So yeah, seeing the upside, the potentials with that is very positive there. Pluto is going direct, I do want to mention. So there is this shift taking place with your communication. In fact, with Mars recently shifting into your third, there has been lately a lot of emphasis on you communicating things directly, independently. And so it is a good time for reading, writing, sharing, communicating, so long as there's balance, right? And really stripping away any old patterns of communication and of learning and of thinking, old limiting belief systems again with the third house. And as you become more aware of them during this direct with Pluto, it's now about essentially implementing what you've learned the past 6 months regarding the importance of having balanced communication in your life, balanced intellect, balanced learning, open-mindedness. And it's a great week to implement all of that. So I think there's energy here. I think there's motivation, and that's a very good way to unlock that energy is maybe see where you can communicate, share, learn, and all this can be a good motivating factor. All right, so that's the forward-moving energy of the third, and then, of course, that new moon on Friday. I do also want to mention that Mercury will be shifting into your 12th. So there will be a shift going into next week where I think you'll just naturally be very intuitive. And I think it makes it a very good time for listening to your dream space, getting, again, this inner guidance. And Mercury's exalted in Virgo, really emphasizing this. So normally Mercury in the 12th house, it's a bit foggy, it's a bit uncertain, it's a bit doubtful, which is why it's so important to surrender, because that's essentially what we're doing, is surrendering the mind. But when Mercury goes into exaltation, you probably find that your intuition's heightened, and to a degree there is more of a willingness to go with the flow on the daily level and see things in a new perspective. So I think that's going to be a shift going into next week. But I think over this weekend, I think it's great to tap into your intuition, your imagination, again through meditation, your alone time, whatever it is, can really be actualizing that energy. And Mercury will be opposing up to Chiron, so on a minor note, there might be some healing taking place, some wounds coming up over the weekend. I don't think it's too major, but know that they're internal. So in other words, it's not a reflection of your external reality. It's subjective. They're internal wounds. So be aware of that and accept the wounds. Acceptance is really the healing energy, the prerequisite to healing with Chiron in particular. And I think if you're open to that healing and accepting any wounds that come up, it can be a very rejuvenating weekend. Now, Venus, your ruler, is going to be trining up to Neptune over the weekend. So all in all, there is a lot of positive energy this weekend. Easygoingness. I think you are willing to, probably in a sense, because Venus has been in your 12th for so long, a willingness to go with the flow, a willingness to accept things. And that can be very nice. Over the weekend, could even be deep and meaningful in your relationships, perhaps, since Venus rules your 8th. But all in all, I think there's a good positive support here to accept things for how they are. And a lot of that can be quite tranquil. All right, so Libras, that's the week in a nutshell. Essentially, the new moon in your 12th is the strongest emphasis with this conjunction up to Jupiter. There's a lot to learn. It's an excellent time to develop this spirituality, let's call it, your psychological development, your peace, your tranquility, your surrender in life. And with Jupiter, I think you're seeing the potentials with that, and there should be plenty of possibilities and opportunities for you to do just that. All right, so Libras, have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.